Supersonic's money transfer is giving you an unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October. Yes! From now till the end of October, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice when you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland with Supersonic's money transfer. Amazing! So from now till the end of October, every time you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice. Only 100 bags available, so hurry now and be part of the 100 lucky winners in this special unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October with Supersonic's money transfer. Enjoy our safe, fast, reliable and convenient money transfer service with the largest payout network in the Gambia with charges starting from $0. Yes! Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics money transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. The unbeatable bonanza with Supersonics.
gannaaw mbas mi lakkalee doomi aadama yi ci biir dëkk bi booda yi ñu daal di leen tëj est-ce que booda yi ñi nga xamante ne ñu ngi ci daan sukkandiku ñu ngi ci am jafe-jafe
am nañ coono de
liggéeykat yi est-ce que gars yi ñu ngi liggéey ñu ngi am comme nuñ daan amee
réew mi amul kenn ku denc dara
jigéen ñi nga xam ne ni ñu ngi doon dund ci booda bi di demalante ci ñaari dëkk yi di Sénégal ak Gambie rawatina Gambie at bu nekk luuma day am luuma fii nga xam ne ni moom mooy Farafeñe ak luuma Kër Paate est-ce que ren ji luuma yu amul sonal na jigéen ñi
te ñun ci luuma bi lañ daan jaayee di am liñ daan am
waaye jaaykat yi nga xam ne nii ñoom ñoo nekk ci booda bi di yëngatu ci wàllu jënd ak jaay gi jamono juñ toll nii lan leen fa nekkee
doo fi gis fii boo fi àndoon suba ba ngoon man nga am ñaari weer doo jaay benn Gambien
mbas mi nag dem na ba nga xam ne nii nit ñi fi mu toll nii sax gumatuñ ko waaye li gën a raw loxo mooy ñi nekk ci booda bi lan moo leen nekk di sonal
xiif dépasse da lañ bëgg dépasse na mu ngi bëgg a të
Tamala yoonu gàddaay bu ànd ak xaaxaan dégg xiif nammel ci réewam ak réccute déglul ma Keba Top mi bokkoon ci gaal mu suuf mi mu nettali ñu jaar-jaaram
ko métti trop ci biir gaal because di nga toog seben sa soo ko bëggee problème la because of seddaay bi naka la mel lépp
daal de neexul yàlla waaye daal neexul ba neexul waaye daal dëgg bokk na ci gaal gi ma ne ko mu ne ma ne ko gaal ban la mu ne bi ñu dee ma ne ko waaw ba tey alhamdulilah du ci yàlla def rek mu naka la def mucc na wala bu fekkee dafa mucc nga wax moo su fekkee ba tey dafa dee nga xam ne yàlla moo indi nit.
bu ma ko jos yigéey maa ngi doon jooy.
man bu ma ko déggee foogoon naa daal Keba du ma ko tegaat but.
moo ne yooyu kay dafa métti si man torop waaye man dama nekk nit koo xam ne man suma rongo yombut pour mu génn.
fekk maa ngi woon exam sax at UTG ak suma biir bi maa ngi doon study ñu call ma ne ma kii de ñu ne dafa gaañu mooy suma friend bi rakam kooku dafa gaañu ñu ne ma dafa dem si gaal ma tiit be mënuma jóg sax fu ma toog suma tànk yi dañ bañ because of my condition léegi si laa laajte ma ne kon Bakeba mu ngi si seen boot boobu noonu ñu ne waaw ma ne kon moom tamit dee na.
toog naa 3 days yoo xam ne lekkuma 3 days boo xam ne si biir gaal bi kenn lekkut kenn naanu kabi tamit mooy loolu problème la day nekk xëccoo bi amuñu woon lefin tamit paas ndox bi daf day ñëw di duga noonu ba soo seddaay bi nga dee fanaan boobu bor set.
moo dem dara laa si yëgul affaire yi gaal bi dafa ñëw as a surprise to me.
dafa risque daal so yoon bi moom soo si jaaree comme koo xam sax doo ko dee éene pour mu dugaat ko duga si yoon yu mel nii because dafa pain.
bi gaal bi capsized time boobu laa yëg ne Keba dem na.
lu ma expérience gaal bi musuma ko expérience coono boobu musuma ko expérience live dafa métti trop time boobu ak gaal bi ni mu ko suñ kaw time boobu ganax bi tam mu ngi laa ci la yëngal time boobu doo mun a xam comme lan moo dugal buum bi sama biir baal.
non fekk buum bi mu ngi nekk si baatam bi area yi mënut a génn mënut a dugg si laa ñëw lonki buum bi boot ko dama moom si biti.
ndax kii di Keba Top àggoon na foofu ca Babylon.
pour ñu meeg gaal bi mu oyof moo tax ñu bëri seen jacket yi daalay dañ ko sànni because time boobu noonu laal nañ géeju Spain bi ba pare.
lijjanti ko ci épisode bii di Tamala si siiru su gàddaay yuñ leen di indil koleel sa bët ci télé bi déglul ma Keba Top mi bokkoon ci gaal mu suux mi dinañ leen ko indil samedi ñetti fan ci biir weeru octobre 2020 fàttalekul ne Babylon mu ngi fii ci Jolof waaye nag ci Boko Gome Tamala yoonu gàddaay.
Thank you very much. Can we have a silence prayer? Can we pray in our own designations? Amen. Good morning, the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Culture, Alhaji Hamad N.K. Ba. Good morning, the Permanent Secretary for Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Kodu L. Jabang Senghor. Good morning, the Director General, the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute, Mr. Dauda Nyang. Good morning, the Director General, National Center for Arts and Culture, Mr. Hasum Sise. And good morning, the Director General, Gambia Tourism, the Acting Director General, Gambia Tourism Board. Good morning, the Chairman, National Center for Arts and Culture Board. Good morning, the Chairman for the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute. Chairman, and members, staffs, and members of the press. You are all welcome to this auspicious great occasion. It is indeed, we are all delightful from the Ministry of Tourism and Culture that we are hosting a meeting or a press conference that the Minister for Tourism and Culture will address the state. And before that, we would give Mr. Dauda Nyang to give us a welcoming remark to his facility. Mr. Nyang, you have the floor. Move mic.
The Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture, the Permanent Secretary, Board Chairman of National Center for Arts and Culture and the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute, my colleague Director Generals from the Gambia Tourism Board and the National Center for Arts and Culture, respectively, the media, GTHI staff, GT Board staff, and CAC staff here present. We would like to welcome you to the GTHI, the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute, to this occasion, the press conference that our ministry has called for. We hope we will all learn from the press conference, and as we're gearing for the opening of the season, we all hope and pray that, it's going to be positive all the way. On that note, I thank you all for coming, and as usual, before you leave here, on your way out, there's going to be the usual hospitality gesture of the GTHI. That is at the end of the event, at the gate as you're going out. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Director General Dauda Nyang, for that warm welcome. And we will all be delighted. By the time we are going down there, we will go with a little package that the bus would be very happy to take along. But this is a show for the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Culture, Mr. Hamadba. We wouldn't be wasting much time apart from letting him to unravel or to open the bag that he has for the country. On that note, I would like to invite the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Culture, Hamad N.K. Bah, to deliver the speech.
Good morning, Madam Permanent Secretary, Minister of Tourism and Culture. Good morning, the Director General, National Center for Arts and Culture. Good morning, the Acting Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board, the Director General of the Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute, the Chairman of the Governing Council of the National Center for Arts and Culture, the Chairman of the Governing Council for GTHI, the Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute, the staff of the Ministry of Tourism, the staff of the NCAC, the staff of the GTHI, and of course, the members of the press here present. Today is another historic day in the annals of our journey, in the annals of our strife in building a very strong economy of which tourism takes center stage in it. As you're aware that COVID-19 came unexpected, and indeed it has inflicted serious damage not only in the economy, but also in our lives, including our social, economic, and all aspects of our living. COVID had no boundaries. It goes beyond our imagination and unpredictable. Today, as I speak to you, WHO cannot give you 100% of how this disease is transmitted, what happened. Every day we are learning something new about the disease. But we thank God, those of us who live in this part of the world, particularly Africa. I think some of you must have read the recent report on Africa. The prediction that Africa will be the graveyard has been found to be wrong. And indeed, Africans have and are surviving COVID. And we believe that very soon, this country's economy also will start moving on. We will soon make a pronouncement, the president to open the borders, to make sure that the country goes back to normalcy, whilst we learn how to live with COVID. And I always believe that COVID is here to stay. COVID is here to stay as what cholera did. As I said, when cholera came to the Gambia, Hassan, was it in 1869? When cholera came to the Gambia in 1869, the then colonial government took some measures to make sure that not the whole country was affected by this sickness and this disease. When we started working on COVID-19, we went back to the archives and we saw some of the measures that were then engaged or taken up by the then colonial government. And some of those measures also helped us as a government to guide us in making sure that really we contain COVID. And that's why history is always here to repeat itself. But when we realized this, as a ministry, we felt that it was important to defend this sector, to protect this sector, because we are affected more than any other ministry for that matter. Because we're dealing with human beings. We're dealing with people, and these people are coming. Our source markets are overseas, and they were seriously affected. We started seeing how they were dying, and they were overwhelmed. With all their money, with all their power, this virus devastated everybody. And of course, tourism went on zero ground. And indeed, the president made a declaration on a national disaster, of course, a pandemic, declared this country a pandemic, in a state of pandemic. And that, as a result, means that tourism was on ground zero and was dead. Now, we felt as a ministry, at the time, I think 2 days after the declaration, my ministry summons call on a meeting of all the stakeholders, including the Ministry of Finance, as to the way forward. Before anybody started taking any decision, 2 days after COVID was declared, we took measures to try to see what can we do to help mitigate some of the challenges that we may face in COVID and during COVID. So it is our desire, put it back, it's somebody's food. It is our desire to help and indeed support partners, because people who are with you when the going was good, when it goes bad, you need to really support them. On that note, let me say, I have very special thanks to the President of the Republic and the Vice President and the entire Cabinet for supporting this ministry in this quest. And again, I must stand here to thank the Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance stood up with all our requests, with all the efforts to support us in our quest to make sure we supported this industry. His permanent secretary and his staff were all with us. Again, I need to thank the National Assembly members, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the minority leader, the majority leader, and the entire leadership of the National Assembly, who stood up. We were there with them sometime until 1 a.m. to make sure that at least our ministry gets support that would help the industry to come back to normalcy. And really, with all that, I think the effort would not have been succeeded without the valuable, the excellent support we got from our permanent secretary, her deputy, her staff at the ministry. They work very late, very difficult circumstances, very difficult times. Sometimes tears will even be shed because the job was not easy. It was difficult. I'm not a dictator, but I always want to make sure that my job is done. Come what may, it must be done. And you must accept that. You cannot survive as a government. If you go to work at 9 o'clock, you close your office at 4 o'clock. This country cannot work and succeed on that. We have to change our attitude to work and be more determined to do that. And therefore, I thank the permanent secretary, her deputy, her entire staff for going through all that hardship in bringing us to the day that we are here today. On that very note, I have to thank my directors, with their staff, all of them. They were staying in their offices as long as we wanted them. Some of them until 8 p.m. They will be in their offices for information that we needed, for something that needs to be done, and they will stay to get it done. None of them have ever said no to any of the requests, any of the orders that I've given. And that, they deserve to be thanked. And really, they have the data, they have the information. Once we wanted something, it is available. And I think, really, people must believe in their country. You have to believe in your organization. You must make sure that you deliver. But if people are delivering also, they must be recognized. They must be acknowledged. They must be given the atmosphere that makes them to be able to work and deliver. I think this is key. And that's why I felt that really I am proud to say I have one of the best teams. We are the only ministry, including the Ministry of Justice, that has attained all the NDP goals for a second year running. And that 100%. And that we couldn't have got that without the support of a very strong team that is resilient, that is willing, that able to move and get things done. And of course, our board chairs, our board of governors, they have been working. Some of them are meeting twice a month as a governing council to make sure that things are done. We ought to change. We ought to make a difference. We are going. You people are coming up. But we want you to find a strong foundation that when you come, you have a pillar where you can stand and we move this country forward. If we don't create that atmosphere for you, if we don't make it easy for you, when you come, you will do the job that we were supposed to do for you. So it's not an easy task. It's nation building. We all have to be in it. And the more you consult, the more you dialogue, the more you get to results. So that, I believe also in my whole life, it's always good to consult. It's always good to ask, particularly when you don't know or you want to know. So in that vein, the first thing we did, let me start. We realized that our stakeholders were having loans in the banks. They were having loans in the banks, and of course, let me give you a little bit of background of this sector. The COVID pandemic came in 3.5 months into the season. There was only 1.5 months left for the end of the tourist season. And then the government have paid over $60 million to some of these hotels during the period of COVID, because these facilities are used for quarantine and treatment centers. Some of them will not have even earned this money on the normal season. They will not. They even use hotels that they are not licensed to operate. All that money have gone into the industry during COVID. Yet still, we have our hundreds of staff, thousands of staff who were laid off, who didn't even have the opportunity to pay their rent. Some of them were struggling to survive. Yes, if there was no COVID, we'll still be having some hotels operating and some of them moving. The reason why it's been bad for them is because these hotels were only receiving patients who do not go out, who don't go and hire a taxi, who don't go out for a restaurant eating, who are only inside their rooms. So the staff have very little, or other partners or players, to benefit from this. It was only the hotels that were actually benefiting, which of course we accept. But our workers, our vendors, some of those who own taxis, some of them who are women and men who are at the market, at the tourist market, some of them who own Land Rover equipment hires, some of them who own hotels, some of them who own nightclubs, restaurants, gyms, some of them who own salons, some of our writers, some of our musicians. A lot of our people went out of job. They couldn't attend ceremonies because they were banned from getting to gatherings. We felt it was our responsibility to make sure that we support them, because we believe the entertainment industry is key in any nation. We believe our culture, our arts is quite important to us. And as a government, we felt that we cannot sleep. They will all have to be supported. And if we support them, it makes a difference in their lives and the lives of many Gambians. Because each and every one of these groups are employing 1 or 2 Gambians. And some of them cannot even help themselves. We even went to the extent of helping travel agencies who are not within us. We went. And you know the role we played as minister in getting the Ministry of Information the 15 million that was given to them. The role I played is visible for everybody. I'm not boasting, because I felt that you should also benefit. Your institution should be supported. And I know the role I played in that. It's evident. So it is important that we support each other when times are hard. And I think that's why I felt at the time we need to take up measures. And some of these measures I'll just try to come brief, because there are many, but I'll just give you a brief of it. And then, of course, we'll avail you the opportunity to have the document printed for all of you to be able to see the document. I will do that. I will give you the document that you can have a small, through it, look at it, share it, and then, of course, you disseminate it. And then, with the support of the one, we got $100 million to be distributed among all the players. And what I did was, you know why I got late? I was making sure that that money leaves the Ministry of Tourism immediately before I leave that office, for the money to be transferred. Not one single butu will stay in that ministry. And that action was done before I left the office. All the money. They said not even coffee and tea. I said this is not money for the ministry, it's money. That's why I came late. I sat the permanent secretary down to make sure that money leaves that ministry before I come here. That was why I came late. I would have been here at 9 o'clock, because the money is meant for the people that it is meant for. and it must be distributed fairly. So what we did as a ministry, we hired the consult, not hire, we sought for the advice of an independent person who have nothing to do with anybody. I said, give us a guide. How do you think we should distribute this money to everybody? He gave us a draft. I looked at it with my team, revisited it again, and then consulted our directors. When we presented it, everybody said it was the best. Because we didn't have an interest. We didn't want to be involved in it. We wanted an independent opinion to tell us. Free service, we paid him nothing. And then we wrote it down, sent it to finance. The money was transferred based on that. And these transfers will, from tomorrow, start hitting your bank accounts. The money, as we speak, is now in your accounts, all of you. And we make sure that from tomorrow, you start sending these monies to people. But I want to also give a little bit of advice. If you have the money, it's not meant for you to go and pay your rent areas. COVID still stays. Force measure still is on. You still don't have money. This money is to help you start up your business again, to help you refurbish your hotels, to help you redo yourself. Those that are supposed to train is to help you help your students, provide them with what they need, prepare your institutions to do the best we expect from you. And the same thing to the NCAC. All the cultural groups, all those involved, make sure that there is no fight, make sure it is just, make sure it is fair, and everybody gets what he's supposed to get. And that I trust my team, and I know I have trust in them, and I know they will do justice to what they have been asked to do. No doubt about that. So we went to the banks, we engaged the Ministry of Finance, then through the central bank, they agreed to stop deducting interest and loan repayment for those who are in the industry, who are working, and who own loans, who own the banks. That was done. We agreed on that. And again, government also, we also championed that, paid all the rates to the municipalities for them, for all the hotel rates. That also we succeeded in getting it done. For operational license, government also paid that money for the hotels. Some have paid, but next year they don't pay. I think that is clear as I told them. And of course with the NCAC, with all the program and GTHI, with all what they've done, if I want to read it here, we'll be here till tomorrow. I have the document and I am directing the permanent secretary to make sure that this document reaches all of you. They are public information that you have a right to have and access it and verify and report as you deem fit. Now, the 100 million, listen to me, the way we're going to distribute it. We are going to give taxi drivers, 413 taxi drivers will benefit from this money. 413 taxi drivers. Fruit sellers, 145 of them will benefit from this money. Juice pressers, 81 of them registered with us. All these people are registered. They are in the formal system, will benefit from that money. Hairdressers, our girls, women who are in the PDA, in small corner here and there, once they are registered in the formal system, 76 of them will also benefit from that money. Senegambia market vendors, those who sell at the market, the women who sell there need money to go and restock their businesses. Men and women, young men who are selling there, 96 of them registered will benefit from that money. Kotu market vendors, 90 of them also will benefit from that money. Cape Point craft market vendors, 78 of them will benefit from that money. Palmarima craft market vendors, 34 of them will benefit from that money. Fajara craft market vendors, 74 of them will benefit from that money. Bakau craft market vendors, 50 of them will benefit from that money. Banjul craft market vendors, 40 of them will benefit from that money. Brikama craft market vendors, 55 of them will benefit from that money. Then you have the tourist guides. Tourist guides, bird watchers, even the bird watchers, all of them, 158 of them will benefit from that money. Miscellaneous businesses, those who own bureau de change, souvenir shops, those who are selling there, who have small businesses, they're all gone out of business. The 120 of them will also benefit from that money. Hotels, over 100 rooms, there are 15. They will have substantial amount of that money. Hotels, 50 to 100 rooms, there are 13. They will also have substantial amount of money from that money. Hotel less than 50 rooms, there are 23 of them. They will also benefit from that money. Guest houses, motels throughout the Gambia, from here to Basse, all of them, there are 118. They will all benefit from that money. You know, tourism has gone beyond Banjul Serekunda now. We take it throughout the Gambia. Everybody, wherever you are in the Gambia, you have to be part of it and you have to benefit it. And that's why we are moving tourism out here to go. And that's why we are building these lodges. Therefore, the lodges of country, the guest house of country, need to be supported for them to refurbish, do better, and deliver better services. Then you have up-country lodges, camps. The camps, 68 of them will also benefit from this money. Ground operators class A, there are 6 of them. They will benefit from this money. Ground operators class B, 15 of them will benefit from this money. Ground operators, equipment hires, car rentals. Some of my friends, the Rastamen who own 1 Land Rover, 2 Land Rover, some of the other people who own equipment hires, all of them will benefit. Yes, there are about 25 of them. They will also benefit from this money. Tourist boats, vessel, pirogue, Denton Bridge, you all know them, and other parts of the country. There are 125. They will all benefit from this money. Bars and restaurants and nightclubs in the country throughout, those are registered with you. There are 108. They will all benefit from this money. Beach bars throughout the country, there are 55. They will benefit from this money. Travel agencies, these are saying they are not meeting us, but we feel if we can help them, we'll do that. 15 of them will also benefit from this money. Casinos and gambling houses, they are employing Gambians. Whether you like it or not, this is not where you come for pilgrimage. If you want, you go to Rome or you go to somewhere else. 16 of them will benefit from this money. The Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute, this institute will benefit from this money to train more staff, be more well-equipped, have all that you need so that our people are graduated and you start work. Institute for Travel and Tourism will also benefit from this money. Fajara Skill Development Center will benefit from this money. Takulige Skill Training Center will benefit from this money. YMCA will benefit from this money. Vicky Hairdressing Salon will benefit from this money. National Center for Arts and Culture will also benefit from this money. Artistic groups, 59 of them, will benefit from this money. Artistic individuals, 45 of them, will benefit from this money. Writers Association will benefit from this money. Music Union Association will benefit from this money. Film Producers Association will benefit from this money. Theater Association will benefit from this money. Book Publishers Association will benefit from this money. Fashion Designers Association will benefit from this money. I think this will hit the entire country. Nobody will be left out. And I told them to do it with due diligence. When money comes, everybody talks. But make sure tomorrow, this you can always account for. I have no doubt about it. And that's why I said our ministry don't want to be involved. We create it, we bring it, we give it to you. We have more on our table than dealing with financial matters of this nature. We have too much on our table. We are thinking of how to bring back the country to normalcy, how to go back to the international market, how to promote our rural domestic tourism, and how to make sure we reignite our culture. And naturally, I want to tell you, the big good news is the Gambia have been selected to be the Islamic Cultural City of ISISCO on year 21, 22. That's one of the biggest achievements, and that's a huge, huge program that we will engage. Banjul, I think it's Banjul for that matter. Banjul City have been selected for that. And we have a lot of things on our plate that needs to be done. And as a result, really, we don't want to be bogged with the issue of who to disbursement to. It will take us, it will consume most of our time. But I have a team that I trust, and I have no doubt that they will deliver to the expectation of the rest of it. And I think on that note, I also want to observe one thing. There are journalists who are attached to this industry, and they really promote this country. They write good things about our country. And you know, tourism is all about information, dissemination. And I think these journalists who always partner with us, I'm not dictating, but I'm only suggesting, Madam Permanent Secretary, if they can be catered through the Gambia Tourism Board, I don't know what you can do, but I would suggest that really, because they are always with us. Anywhere you go, they come, they are never late, and they spend time, and they write good things about our country. Not because for us, but because they love their country. And I think really, you should see what you can, notwithstanding what happened with the media, but I think we should try to see what we can do with those ones. Please, huh? Yes. They are always attached. I see them any tour I go, I see them, and they are always moving around us. Yes, please, huh? Yes.
That is tourism and culture journalism.
Yes, exactly. Who would help disseminate
and culture journalism.
Yes, yes. I think that was an element we actually, directors, I think that must have escaped us. Am I right? Yes. Madam Permanent Secretary, that must have escaped us in our list. So I think you should be able to, media, how do you call it? No, we are very specific, huh?
Yes, very specific. Tourism.
You know them, you know them. You are the marketing man.
Yes.
You know them. And Kasum also knows, Omar knows the rest of it. So what happened is, this information, Madam Permanent Secretary, makes sure it's given to the job, because we have other things that we're going to do. Because we are leaving tomorrow for the province. I'm leaving tomorrow. So I have to move for another engagement, but I would allow you some few questions for some of you who really want a little bit of clarification here and there. I'm available, Sir Omar. I will give you the opportunity to ask 1 or 2, 3 questions before I move on, because tomorrow I have another engagement, and I need to go and start working on that engagement immediately.
Thank you.
Yes.
Then there will be 3 questions would be asked.
Maybe 4 even, maybe 4. I try to
5 maximum.
Yes, maximum.
Not more than 5. The first questions will come, you will introduce yourself, and which paper are you coming from, and then you throw your question.
Thank you very much for the brief that you just gave us. My name is Yusef Taylor for Gainako Online News.
Gainako, Balde.
Yes. So my question basically is with regards to quarantine. When people come, we understand that they should have a certificate. And if it so happens that certain individual doesn't have a certificate or a right dated, because there's a time frame for the certificate, what will happen? Will they go into quarantine? Because, Honorable, we heard you say that quarantine is no more. So that's the main issue. And you said...
Let me answer that question. I think that's one question for you. That's one question for you.
It's my only chance.
Okay.
Huh? You don't speak all the time.
Okay. The second question, last one.
So the second question, basically, you said earlier that if people are doing well, they should be recognized, and certainly they should be given the due. What about if people are not delivering to the level? Also, they should also receive the other part too.
You are right. That's true.
Thank you.
I think it's right. Let me clarify something that is important. You see, COVID protocols are matters that government deals with the World WHO, World Health Organization. It is not what you want, that's what you print down. Because if you do what you want, nobody will stop people. I mean, you will make it easy. But WHO is always there to say, make sure that as long as you are a member of WHO, you do what WHO expects you to do. Now, the Gambia is on orange. And I think that's where we need the press. And we need a lot more to offer. Gambia is on orange. That means when you are on orange, they cannot book a holiday with an insurance to the country. Our biggest task now is on that. We are on orange. If you look at the WHO rating, we are on orange. And being on orange means that we are high there. You understand? And that comes because the number of people tested who are positive must be 5 or below. Total average must be 5 or below. 5%. Yes, we are doing very well on that. It's been going down heavily. That means you have to test more people and have more negative results so that Gambia can move out of that orange to at least blue. Then people are free to book their holidays with insurance, because insurance companies would usually not insure you when you are going to a country with yellow, with orange rather. So we are on orange, but yesterday, as up to yesterday, I think it's been coming down considerably. And we hope and pray that we'll intensify testing, and again, our results will certainly be improving on. In the next 15 days, we hope that we'll get the level where we'll be at orange. Sorry, we'll be out of orange, and that's a positive thing. What we have also agreed on this issue, you are right. If you have a certificate, CRC certificate, PRC certificate, you of less than 72 hours, you are free to come to this country. You are free to come to the Gambia without being under any, quarantine, whatever, because that shows that you have the certificate. But if you don't come with a certificate, of course you'll be quarantined. Let me clarify that. The reason why WHO had to, because they also have to decide not what we want, but what they feel that should happen. But I also want to help you on that. No aircraft, no airline rather, will board anybody without a certificate. So we are safe on that. Because before they board you on board their planes, you must come with the certificate. So that burden is not on us as a destination that we are marketing, because that certificate costs in some of them 150 euro to get. Unless you have reason to be tested, in most countries in Europe, they don't test you. And that if you want to come on holiday, you need to go and buy that. You need to go and pay for that and get it. That's why we are not making a condition. We leave that to the airline. You have to be strategic in the way you also put your language. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know that no airline will board you to come if you don't have a certificate. So the issue of whatever you must, we take that out. We leave that with the carrier to deal with that. What we do, what we say is be sure when you come with the certificate. That's where we are. That also may change. That may change. We may go to a situation where you will be asked, if you come, you have a rapid test, 10 minutes, you go your way. We are working on that too. We are working on that, but nothing is conclusive. We have 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks to go as to when we can also come. But for now, if you come with certificate, no quarantine. You go to your hotel straight away. That one, I can confirm that to you. But with no certificate, which I believe no airline will board you on board a plane without that certificate. But that's not our problem as a country. Let's leave that to those who bring them and who carry them. Are you with me? So we are safe on that. I believe no one will risk boarding somebody on a plane who is not, with a certificate. And once you land and the certificate is less than 72 hours, then we will get you on board. But really, you need to respect that. As a country too, and WHO also will not compromise standards in any country. They need to make sure that really the standards are respected. So, as I said, when somebody do good, reward for the good. But when you do bad, you should be dealt with. No doubt about that. We don't compromise that. But bad thing you don't say, you only do. Yes. So, right. Yes, get the lady, please. Yeah. Be fair.
The next lady.
Gambia Talents. I hope you are registered with NCSE.
Gambia Talents TV.
Gambia Talents
TV.
TV, okay.
Yeah.
They are a media outlet. But we work with them anyway.
Oh, you work with them?
Yeah.
They are registered?
Yeah. Not registered, but they cover most of our cultural programs.
So that means these are the category of people you're talking about?
Those are the ones that will deserve.
Oh, go ahead. Yes, madam. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. We've known that the COVID-19 has affected various sectors in the
Anna Chairman,
more especially the cultural and tourism sector. Yes. But all the sectors that were completely shut down are now partially open. The cultural sector remains closed. And also last weekend, the cultural performing artists have a successful virtual fundraising through Gambian Talents TV. And then everybody was happy and appreciated the initiative. But according
I want to disagree with that before you proceed. We have provided now. We have provided. We have released the funds. Now the money is there.
Yeah, the money is there, but initially, for them, they were like, the COVID-19 has affected them, and then they are not making living. That's the reason why they...
And that's why government came in to support them.
But my question is,
Yes.
why is it that the ministry didn't send any representative there?
Okay. That one I must in advance apologize on behalf of the director. I don't know what happened, but I don't want to get into that. But let me tell you that that must have been an oversight. My apology, and I can assure you it will not happen again. Director, take note.
Next. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Let me have Keba Mane.
Yeah. Mr. Mane, please.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me the floor. I wanted to know because it has been announced that the season will commence next month.
Yes.
And already we know that major players, the two operators like Thomas Cook is a history now, and Korean is already gone. I wanted to know, as a destination, whether there are plans to attract other two operators besides Gambia experience that many are saying they are charging very expensive.
Let me tell you.
That's my first question.
Yes.
Okay.
Very wise man. Second one.
Last question.
Yes. Okay. My second question is, as far as the plans are concerned, what is the projection for the upcoming
Arrivals.
tourist season?
Okay, thank you. Let me answer your first question. Let me also acknowledge the arrival of the chairman of the governing council of the Gambia Tourism Board. He just came in now. So he was on traffic, must have held him the road. It's very difficult, particularly where he lives. It's not easy to reach out to this end. Mr. Chairman, welcome to this press conference. Now, let me answer your question, Mr. Mane. You know, COVID is very unpredictable. Right now, the new owners of Thomas Cook, Gambia is on top of the list for them to come. But at the moment, Europe, the virus have come up again. Part of Europe have gone into lockdown. So it is difficult for us to, at this point in time, to give you correct statistics as to how many tour operators will come into the country during this period. But I know that there are a lot of bookings that are ongoing. People are booking in big numbers. Thousands are booking to come to the Gambia. And you understand that Gambia have 40% repeater rate, which is unique. That means if you are used to a country, you must go back to that. You almost want to go back to that country. 40% of our arrivals are all repeaters. So for those who survive COVID, I have no doubt that at least out of that 40%, we'll be expecting maybe 25% to come to our country. But we don't expect it to pick up until around November. November end, going from December, when maybe in Europe, probably the virus would have gone down. And that's why this government is taking new measures to promote regional domestic tourism. The number of tourists from leaving Nigeria going outside cannot fit in the whole of West Africa if they are spread around. But we are not tapping that market. And they pay more than what your international arrivals are paying. And that's why we're going to set up office in Nigeria. The Director General is in the picture, and the Director of Marketing is aware of that. We are already working on plans how to make sure that we capture Nigeria, Ghanaian, Senegalese market to make sure that our tourism, binded with culture, together, we have people to come and fill our hotels and up-country lodges. And that's why we are building infrastructure throughout the country to make sure that we have at least 3-star hotels, lodges throughout the country. The Ministry of Tourism, through the GT board, government is building 4. We are not going 5. We are not going to run them. We are not into running. Let me make this clear. It will be leased to people or licensed to Gambians or any other party who feels that you can run it. And luckily enough also, the Ministry of Environment, through the UN Climate Change, also is getting 4 lodges to be built. That makes it 9. And we'll be supporting private initiatives of Gambians who want to invest up country so that we can get people to come to our country, visit Nyokolokova. We have this bilateral arrangement with our counterparts Senegalese. and then Gambians can visit these tourists. Some of you have never been to Nyokolokoba. I have Gambians who are here who've never even been to Basse. So I think we really need to explore our country. And you know, countries that have got good domestic tourism sector, we are the first to restart the business again. Some of them, 34% of their arrivals are all domestic tourism. So what we want to do, we know that our economy has not been battered. Gambians have lost a lot of revenue in the last 22 years or so. But we want to make sure that we encourage them. We build the facility, tap the Nigerian market, Ghanaian, other middle class West African to come to this country on holidays. And we can succeed. With our determination, with the team we have, I believe we can get it done. With your cooperation, because we will need the press also in doing that. Because you need a lot of press to accompany you in going to get this marketing done, all this program and the rest of it. And that's why we said educate our people. Equip them with the knowledge to be able to get this done. And that's why this institute has been graduating 400 Gambians, all of them employed, every year. And that's why we are empowering them more to be able to have more graduates. And we are helping other institutions who are training to make sure they train more Gambians to take over this industry, to make sure that we run the industry. And that's why we are supporting all these institutes as you've seen them. So it's our desire also to deliver quality services. And you can only deliver quality services when you have people with knowledge and skills to do that. And that's why we are making sure that we do that. And that's why we want to link tourism and culture together for people to come and do what they have to do. And that's why we are doing everything possible also to get the North Bank open up. That's why government started building roads in the North Bank to make North Bank the next tourism destination of this country. Because that's why we're building all those roads. We're getting from Bafuloto to Bangali, from Bunyadu to Kuntaya, getting all those areas connected with tar road, and then we'll be able to make sure we build 3-4-star hotels in that area, expand tourism beyond this region. And I'm sure some investors will be willing and ready to put up, and with government incentive to put up these things there. So we want to develop domestic tourism, and that's why this package is going across the Gambia. And I told them everybody in this country who is part of culture, who is part of visual art, whatever it is, must benefit from this. Must benefit from this. So but this we cannot do without the information people that you who have to sell the country. We have to partner in getting this done. Last question.
Yeah. That lady, please.
Identify yourself. Let her identify.
From where? From where?
Oh yeah, Africa TV. Yes.
Africa TV.
So my question is, you already mentioned the institutions and the people that are going to benefit from the 100 million, but you did not tell us how the money is going to be shared amongst them.
I don't want to get involved. Some of them may have debts and people will follow them for debts, and that money is not to pay debts.
It's the question that I have.
So that question is answered.
Last question.
Move question.
You said the borders are going to be open very soon, but people are coming to the country like between Senegal and Gambia border is already open. So you said that the borders are going to be open.
No, within Senegal, Gambia border is not open. I disagree.
Coming to the country from Senegal.
Yeah, you see, let me tell you, I don't want to get involved in that, but officially, as far as we are concerned, our border is closed and will be officially open very soon.
Last question from Yunus Salim.
Yes. Mr. Yunus.
Yunus, please.
Yunus, come in. Come on board, Yunus. Quickly, we close. Yes, who that man? Okay, give them 3 questions. We finish.
Yeah, okay.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Yunus, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations to the minister and the team for securing the money for the tourism and cultural industry. A little bit, we've talked about the borders, we've talked about the airport and everything. We know that the airport is supposed to open next month, but now we are hearing that it's opening by ending of October. That is one. Number 2, we are still in the cold orange, and some of our tourists also from their own country, they are still in cold orange as well. And we want to go to yellow, we want to go to cold yellow, so that tourists can come.
Blue.
Yeah. So, what are you still doing with the Ministry of Health to see that they improve at least some of the regulations and the mandate mandatory regulation that we are expecting from the ministry? And number two, I need to go back to debate from what we have been saying here. I want to talk about the security fee, the levy and the airport. So, in 2018, you fought for this and it was cancelled. So, you want to do any...
Let me help you. Let me help you so that we don't waste time. If there is anything that stopped me sleeping and eating well, it's anything that would stop tourists from coming to this country and visit us. That's just what I want to stop on that issue. I don't want to elaborate further. You understand what I'm saying? If there is anything that stopped me eating and sleep now, is anything that would stop people visiting this country as tourists or that will make it difficult for them. Let me stop that. I don't want to elaborate. I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm up to for that. With regards to the issue of compliance, I think we have to appeal to our Gambians, fellow citizens. If you look at the statistics this morning of the Ministry of Health, out of the 100 persons who died, 60 of them are below 40. That means among you, the youths. It's a very disturbing figure. Below 40, that's a very disturbing figure. Because usually in Europe, it's affecting people with 80, whatever. But here, the statistic is saying the young people are dying of COVID. And that means we need to take precautions. We need to really do our mask. For me, mask is principal to anything else. And then, how to call it again? The sanitizers. Really, for me, that's number one. Social distance can happen. But when you have your mask and you are using your distance, I think then you can be safe. But I always have a question, and nobody answered my question. You know what my question is? COVID can come through here. Okay? Through your nose, through your mouth. What about your ear? Who tells me that COVID cannot go through here? And they are not mentioning our ears. No, tell me. They said the virus can come to you through here and here. What about here? And they're not talking about that. They told us some months ago that when somebody died of COVID, the person can contaminate. Now that story again changed. So you see, what I believe is what WHO is telling us, let's respect that. But as you said, Yunus, we need to do more testing and then bring that orange down so that really we can be in the good books of the whole world. And only testing can do it. Because when we are having these big numbers, if we are there, we were testing. Now you want to come down and the percentage must be 5 or below. That means you need to do a lot more testing and be having more negative figures to remove that 5. To get to that 5 and the orange goes off. Unless we do that, we will still be on orange. And that will still threaten the industry in the next few months to come. And you know that over 200,000 people benefit, you know, in form of employment with its industry. So we need to work and submit ourselves voluntarily. Voluntarily. Now we have got a lot of testing centers. We are improving them. I think by next week, they will be everywhere you go, any day you want, you can be tested. And we are working on a quicker results too, so that we try to make sure the next 2 weeks, let's do a lot of testing. We have a lot of negative reports, and then now it brings down our orange out and makes this country look better for people to be able to visit it with that. So is that the last question now?
No, last question, second to last. Yes, my brother.
Okay. I am Ms. Fondu from Gambian Talents TV. My question is, Gambia have enacted a copyright law.
Yes.
Yes. So until this minute, it only stopped at a lip service. So what is holding the copyright law in a taking active effects?
Thank you. Very good question. Sasum, I'll give you that answer. I have it, but I'll ask you to answer it. Because I've signed this into regulation since 1 year plus. Tell them why. Come and say it. I'll go to IF at the fang. Then inside better.
Well, thank you very much. In fact, like a lot of effort has been taken since 2018. Like our minister said, when the regulations were signed after almost 4 years, we are registering, works now. Thanks to the Honorable Minister also, with the budget increase, finally the Copyright Office has staff. As we speak, we have 3 staff, who are registering, works. And also the EU has now intervened to help us, to actualize and operationalize the collecting society of the Gambia, which is the mechanism that will collect, royalties for Gambian artists. Last Saturday, the consultant came and he worked with Sir Omar and a cross-section, of Gambian artists. So, that is a new development with the intervention of the European Union through a project in which the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry is the lead partner, and NCC is also a partner with the Gambian artists. So there is good news on that front, also.
Thank you. You got your answer? Yeah. Thank you. I gave them more money to get it done. I wanted him to say it. Yes. Through the budget, the permanent secretary fought through the Ministry of Finance so that they get more money to make this thing happen. And that's what he is confirming now. Last question?
Yes, last question. Yes. Honorable Minister, we all know that COVID-19 has hardly hit the Gambian economy, and then Gambia is a tax-based country, as we told you. And then the GRA has projected that we will lose about $1 billion in terms of revenue. And then we know that tourism is one sector that brings a lot of revenue to the state, and then tourism was hardest hit by COVID, and then it was zero, and then agriculture was not also very well. So then one would wonder, 100 million is a big money. One would wonder, where is this fund coming from? How did the government manage to get such a big sum of money when it was hardest hit by COVID? And then secondly, the other question is, we know that there are a lot of stakeholders within the industry, and then I want to know whether there was an assessment conducted to bring all these people on board, because we understand that from the UNDP relief package that was given to some hotel workers, a lot of people were left out, and then I've spoken to about 20 people, who said they have not received that money. So do you have a committee that is going to look into complaints, like people who are not part of this?
Thank you very much. I think you have asked a very good question. Let me first of all say that to get to this 100 million, I wanted $26 million for the industry to revamp it. That's what we wanted. But I got $2 million. You know why I didn't cry much? Because I know that the economy, the money is not there. And that's why I started with this. Is not the end of the fight, as I said. And I told parliamentarians, we'll be going there to fight for more. Because marketing is very expensive. Getting back to people, and where we are going, people have millions of dollars with them. If you go with zero money, all what you use is your experience and your strategy, your knowledge to get people, the fight become more and more difficult for you. But notwithstanding that, we are ready to change, to face the challenge, to make sure we get there, we fight to get back our share of the market. But we have a committed government and a committed leadership to tourism. And the president never wavered when it comes to the issue of job creation, tourism, culture, that it was something that government must provide this money, because we insisted that the money has to come and the sector must be supported. And that's why everybody stood up, including Parliament stood up to say that we have to take this money not from anywhere, it's our own money. It is not money borrowed from anywhere. It is the Gambian people's money that we are giving back to Gambians who have been putting a lot of money into the state coffers, as you have mentioned. The sector has certainly suffered, you are no doubt about that. But I think gradually we all understand. We went through hard time. When hard time comes, everybody suffers. But I think with this small intervention, we will see something coming up. And we intend to do more fight to see wherever we can secure anything extra, we'll have to pump it again. And that for us is key. Now, the other question is about the assessment. You are right. I was very upset with the UNDV assessment. I even wanted to stop it, because there were people who were left out that I felt I don't understand how they were left out. Some companies that were left out, I didn't understand how they were left out. But then the other, I was advised that if you stop it, it will have to cancel completely. And I don't want that to happen, because people were already hoping on this. They were already hoping on this. If I had stopped it, it would be difficult. I asked them to go and make another assessment to cover everybody. They said it will take another 2-3 months if we have to do that. Then I was obliged, to get it go. But this one now, the one here done here, nobody is left out. No one is left out. We make sure that the tourism board lists with all its partners to get the perfect data. No one will stand to say, I did not mention the bombers, but the tourist guides I call are all on board this list. I don't want to use the word bombers because they are not official for us. But the tourist guides, they are official. All those names who are here, all of them will benefit. No doubt about that. With this assessment, I make sure that everyone is on board. No one will be left.
It's a legal entity.
Yes. So, and I think with this also, I want to encourage people. When you have a business, however small it is, go and register it. Even if you don't pay tax, go and register. If you ask about 10, go and pay $1 tax. Go and register your business. Be part of the formal sector. I think it's important. All of you should learn that. You understand what I'm saying? No matter how small it is, be registered to be part of the system. But here there are people that he even included. They have not registered because we want them to learn from there. Tomorrow they will know that they should go and register. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want anybody to be left out in this package. So we really believe that not everybody, but the few that are with us who are working and probably could not have done it this year, but did it last year, we've captured them. We've registered them. Those who have visited last year and this year could not renew, they still captured part of this because of coming. So that's what I'm trying. Not people who are outside, who are not part of the industry. No. They are not the people I'm talking about. Let me clarify that point. So that everybody will come and say, I also have a restaurant in Birkama, or I have a Birkama bar restaurant. No. It's not that way, please. Last question. Kewa again, please.
No, that was the last question.
No, give Kewa one more.
Yes, related to the institution.
Give Kewa.
I wanted to know what plans are there to improve on the gastronomy of the country, because there are a lot of tourists who want
Dauda, come here. Answer that question. We are even creating new dishes for Gambia. Dauda, come and answer that question. Let him answer the question. Yes, Dauda, answer the question.
What is the question again?
Repeat your question. Let him hear it.
What are the plans as far as the local gastronomy is concerned to make it more organized
and more Gambian?
Yeah, more Gambian and more appealing. So maybe selling it as a product to outside.
Okay. Last year, for the first time of the history of this institute, we set up a research unit, and we did this in collaboration with the chef associations of the Gambia. I mean, within the unit, we developed 4 new menus, all from local dishes, and about 8 new beverages that are all local, different from your fizzy drinks. And really, we've been working last season, our chefs here and the Chef Association, to start piloting it and testing it in the hotel. That is one way of doing it. But the other area that there's a big shortage in the industry is on pastry. Now, you know that if you want to do a good pastry, everything is imported from the flour and all the other ingredients. But this year, as part of our development budget request, for the first time in the history of the Institute, we want to build the first pastry and bread production center. Meaning, instead of using imported flour, let me also use this opportunity to announce that GTHI is also finalizing a project on food processing and packaging center. It's going to be on the other side. Now, the flour that we're going to make there is going to be from corn by our farmers, kus. And it's the same flour that we're hoping to use for the production of the pastry and the bread in the new building of pastry. So we are a training institution. We have chefs here that have the capacity, but we have to work with the Gambia Chef Association to make sure that it gets to the hotel and the other outlets.
Thank you, God. Star TV, Star. Where is Star TV? Where are they?
Star TV,
yes, ask.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Minister. My question is, what mechanism do you have for the bouncers? Because reports have indicated that 70% of the tourism, the dissatisfaction they have comes from these bouncers. And secondly, since the COVID, the pandemic outbreak comes in, the those in the tourism sectors said that they haven't seen any individual from the ministry at least to give them a stamp on the back, like how it happens during the Ebola time. They say that the then tourism minister, that is Mr. Robert, went there and talked to them about the dangers of COVID and advised them to take the promotional measures. But during your tenure, they said something was not visible.
Very good question. It was not visible. They got not even a dime. They were left empty-handed during that government. Three issues came, they never received a dime. COVID is not for Ministry of Tourism, it's for Ministry of Health and WHO. We don't have the mandate. Dissemination of information about COVID is strictly WHO and Ministry of Health. We only do what they ask us to do, we say what they ask us to say. And let me just tell you one thing. The issue of bombs, I've lived it all my life. I came to realize that it's a social issue. It's a social issue in the sense that I've done a lot of work research into bombs. When you have 100 bombs this year, when at the end of the season, 50 of them would have gone to Europe. Next year, you have 200. It never ends. What I came to realize is it's a social issue that should be addressed. Lack of jobs. Some of them dropped out of school. They don't have means of paying their school fees. They don't have parents to help them. And I think that's where we should address it. We should address it before they go to be bombers. That's what I believe now. And I think many of my colleagues are becoming convinced that bombing is a social issue that needs to be addressed at different levels. You don't find degree holders or people of high education doing that there. You don't. You only find people who are dropouts, mostly, who don't have even support from parents and the rest of it, who are usually there. And I think we need to approach it through that means. It's a social issue that we have to approach and address it at that level. That's what I believe. Not going, beating them, locking them up. It's not the solution. I have come to that conclusion. Not about the number of police who goes there, whatever. That's not the issue. I think the issue is we should address it socially to minimize it. You cannot also stop it, but you can minimize it. You have countries where you are caught bombing is death sentence, but we will pray never to be those countries. We just believe that we can manage it. But it's difficult. But I know that tourist guides will benefit from this money. No doubt about it. And also, let me clarify, the UNDP thing was meant for the informal sector. You understand what I'm saying? They were targeting mostly the informal sector. And us here, as a ministry, as a government, we target our partners, our players in the formal sector who are dealing with us at every level. And that, for me, I think is fair to all of them. And that's why I encourage people, whatever you do, even if you are selling sand or whatever, go and register yourself to the institution or the ministry or department where you're supposed to be, because it helps you tomorrow for people to be able to have the statistic data to support and help and assist. So I think I would encourage people to really register. And I think now the travel agents are registering with you. You see? So I think it's important we do that. Yes. With the last question?
Yes, that's it.
No, give him last and then we close. Yes.
Thank you very much. We're grateful that you are giving us the chance. My question is regarding the fact that we are about to open this tourism back. And what is the latest on GT board? Is there going to be a revival of the board? What's the latest with the board that was...
The GT board is intact. All their staff are reporting back on the 5th of next month. The governing council is constituted, operating. They even met yesterday. The Director General, Acting Director General, Mr. Abubakar, is doing a fantastic job. All the staff are re-energized, revigorated, with zeal to move and deliver results.
Okay,
I have a new board. It's my decision to compose a board. It is my decision to dissolve a board.
Honorable, thank you very much. On behalf of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, we would like to say thank you to all of you. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Culture, is
our deputy spokesperson.
Supersonic's money transfer is giving you an unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October. Yes! From now till the end of October, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice when you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, and Switzerland with Supersonic's money transfer. Amazing! So from now till the end of October, every time you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, and Switzerland, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice. Only 100 bags available, so hurry now and be part of the 100 lucky winners in this special unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October with Supersonic's money transfer. Enjoy our safe, fast, reliable, and convenient money transfer service with the largest payout network in the Gambia with charges starting from $0. Yes! Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics money transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. The unbeatable bonanza with Supersonics.
gannaaw mbas mi lakkalee doomi aadama yi ci biir dëkk bi booda yi ñu daal di leen tëj est-ce que booda yi ñi nga xamante ne ñu ngi si daan sukkandiku ñu ngi si am jafe-jafe.
am nañ coono de.
liggéeykat yi est-ce que gars yi ñu ngi liggéey ñu ngi am comme nuñ daan amee.
réew mi amul kenn ku denc ci dara.
jigéen ñi nga xam ne ni ñu ngi doon dund si booda bi di demalante si ñaari dëkk yi di Sénégal ak Gambie rawatina Gambie at bu nekk luuma day am luuma fii nga xam ne ni moom mooy Farafeñe ak luuma Kër Paate est-ce que ren ji luuma yu amul sonal na jigéen ñi.
te ñun ci luuma bi lañ daan jaayee di am liñ daan am.
waaye jaaykat yi nga xam ne nii ñoom ñoo nekk si booda bi di yëngatu si wàllu jënd ak jaay gi jamono juñ toll nii lan leen fa nekkee.
doo fi gis fii boo fi àndoon suba ba ngoon mën nga am ñaari weer doo jaay benn Gambien.
mbas mi nag dem na ba nga xam ne nii nit ñi fi mu toll nii sax gumatuñ ko waaye li gën a raw loxo mooy ñi nekk si booda bi lan moo leen nekk di sonal.
xiif. dépasse daal lañ bëgg dépasse na mu ngi bëgg a të.
Tamala yoonu gàddaay bu ànd ak xaaxaan dégg xiif nammel ci réewam ak réccute déglul ma Keba Top mi bokkoon ci gaal mu suuf mi mu nettali ñu jaar-jaaram.
ko métti trop ci biir gaal because di nga toog seben sa soo ko bëggee problème la because of seddaay bi naka la mel lekk
daal de neexul yàlla waaye daal neexul ba neexul waaye daal dëgg bokk na ci gaal gi ma ne ko mu ne ma ne ko gaal ban la mu ne bi ñu dee ma ne ko waaw ba tey alhamdulilah du ci yàlla def rek mu naka la def mucc na wala de bu fekkee dafa mucc nga wax moo su fekkee ba tey dafa dee rek nga xam ne yàlla moo indi nit.
bu ma ko jos yigéey maa ngi doon jooy.
man bu ma ko déggee foogoon naa ne daal Keba du ma ko tegaat but.
moo ne yooyu kay dafa métti si man torop waaye man dama nekk nit koo xam ne man suma rongoñ yombut pour mu génn.
fekk maa ngi woon exam sax at UTG ak suma biir bi maa ngi doon study ñu call ma ne ma kii de ñu ne dafa gaañu mooy suma friend bi rakam kooku dafa gaañu ñu ne ma dafa dem si gaal ma tiit ba mënuma jóg sax fu ma toog suma tànk yi dañ bañ because of my condition léegi si laa laajte ma ne kon Bakeba mu ngi si seen boot boobu noonu ñu ne waaw ma ne kon moom tamit dee na.
toog naa 3 days yoo xam ne lekkuma 3 days boo xam ne si biir gaal bi kenn lekkut kenn naanut kabi tamit mooy loolu problème la day nekk xëccoo bi amuñu woon lefin tamit baas ndox bi daf day ñëw di duga noonu ba soo seddaay bi nga dee fanaan boobu bor set.
moo dem dara laa si yëgul affaire yi gaal bi dafa ñëw as a surprise to me.
dafa risque daal so yoon bi moom soo si jaaree comme koo xam sax doo ko dee éene pour mu dugaat ko duga si yoon yu mel nii because dafa pain.
bi gaal bi capsized time boobu laa yëg ne Keba dem na.
lu ma expérience si gaal bi mosuma ko expérience coono boobu mosuma ko expérience si life dafa métti trop time boobu ak gaal bi nu mu koppee suñ kaw time boobu ganax bi tam mu ngi laa ci la yëngal time boobu doo mën a xam comme lan moo dugal buum bi sama biir baal.
non fekk buum bi mu ngi nekk si baatam bi area yi mënut a génn mënut a dugg si laa ñëw lonki buum bi boot ko dama moom si biti.
ndax kii di Keba Top àggoon na foofu ca Babylon.
pour ñu meeg gaal bi mu oyof moo tax ñu bëri seen jaget yi daalay dañ ko sànni because time boobu noonu laal nañ géej Spain bi ba pare.
lijjanti ko ci épisode bii di Tamala si siirisu gàddaay yuñ leen di indil koleel sa bët ci télé bi déglul ma Keba Top mi bokkoon ci gaal mu suux mi dinañ leen ko indil samedi ñetti fan ci biir weeru octobre 2020 fàttalekul ne Babylon mu ngi fii ci Jolof waaye nag ci Boko Gome Tamala